What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast, where we talk about any and everything. Personal, old snaps and claps. It's a dang good day to talk about a few things. So let's get into it.
What's up, everybody? It is your sis and your friend Crystal Whitaker right here on the Morning Jam podcast. I am super excited to have my super guest here with me, Miss T. Freeman. What's up, girl?
Hey, how you doing?
Listen, I am so good. I'm so good. I'm so glad that we ran into each other. I don't even know how we began to connect or how we connect and all of that, but I'm so glad that we did. It's been a blessing.
Well, we've been at a lot of events, so we crisscrossed a few times.
Yes,
Where we
ma'am.
originally met at, I'm quite sure it was somewhere in Atlanta.
And
So,
it had to been at the Spin Awards, you think?
well, no, because this year is actually going to be my first year of attending.
Oh,
So,
really?
this
It's
year.
gonna be
I'm
like
excited.
nothing but family there.
I,
Well, I'm super
I look forward
excited
to
to
it.
have you, but go ahead and talk. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, I was going to say, yeah, I know it was somewhere down Atlanta. I know we've crossed several times at some awards ceremonies. So,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get to know about Miss T. Freeman. Tell the people, the Morning Jam podcast, who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Oh, all right. Blessings. I'm just little old me. I am an ordained minister. I have my own podcast program as well called I've Got Favor, where it's your time to shine. Shameless plug. I'm also, I am now a certified Christian counselor as well as a mental health
Wow.
coach. Just sharing a little bit about me, some transparency. I am a person who has suffered previously, and I say previously because I'm delivered, healed, and set free from mental depression. So it's
Wow.
funny how sometimes what life's trials and tribulations are there to groom you for your purpose. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a hardcore advocate for renewing our mind and getting a right spirit. So I'm hardcore for making sure that people are trained and educated as far as that as Christians. It's something that God requires of us is the healing part. We're so
Gotcha. Yeah.
busy trying to transform and be this, cookie cutter Christian. Um, that we don't deal with the inner turmoil within us all the time because we think we got to look and sound and move a certain way, speak in tongues, wear our hair, dress. We're so focused on the outer stuff, we don't deal with the inner stuff, and then we wonder why the church is messy.
Right. Yeah. I can
So,
agree with you there. Yeah. Because I love like your spirit. I love your personality. I love who you are as a woman of God. You wear so many hats and you're a manager over some
yeah,
artists. You forgot to even add that.
I straight up girls. Yeah, I didn't. When God says multiple streams, so yeah, I will officially be starting my own clothing line called Favor starting next year. I also manage. I have 5 artists that I manage, and that's including a dance team, a mime and praise dance team,
Okay.
and we own our own record label and production studio as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So with the 5 artists, you said you have one praise dance team.
Yes, guidance.
That is awesome. So
God, you and I
how in the
guidance.
world did you get all into like managing artists and the dance team? How did you get into that?
Well, like I said, I believe that God allows you to go through trials and tribulations to prepare you. So, in all honesty, it wasn't even something I was interested or looked into doing. It all started with a vision that God had gave my husband with him, his family. In order to be part of this here family, this Freeman family, you either have to preach, sing, or play an instrument. And these are some singing folks, some preaching folks, some very gifted, anointed people. So he got excited on a project that his family started working on called the Family Gospel Chorale. when we were just engaged. And right after we got married, I seen how excited he was about the music, how everything went about. So I felt led to sew into when we bought this little square little production box. We thought we was doing big things, in our little townhome. Girl, yeah, we thank the Lord for being kind and having grace and mercy.
So did you do all three? Do you sing? What do you do out of the three?
Okay. Don't give me the line. I harmonize with other singers. So I'm not a lead singer, even though in my head I can tear up some things. But I preach, most definitely. Playing an instrument, I play 4 half songs on a keyboard, and that's it.
Okay, when you say 4 half songs, what do you mean by that?
4 songs that I halfway know that I can play.
That's all right. Now just sing those 4 songs halfway. Y'all.
And it's only gonna be the hook, because that's the only part I really got down.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. So why did you train yourself, or did he actually, Danny, step in and be like, let me show you, babe, how to do it? Because Danny, he's with that lead guitar, and I didn't know that he knew how to play the drums either. So
Danny actually knows he knows keyboard, alto, sax, and bass, and the bass guitar, and he has some acoustics, and he can play a little bit of drums. He'll tell you he's not all
that's
that,
what it was. Yeah. When I talked to him, he said the bass instead of the yes. I was thinking it was the drums.
Yeah, but he can tap a little bit. But I have music background in my family as well. Like my mom had her own singing secular group when she was a teenager.
Wow.
But I'm more of a words person, a lyricist, so I did poetry. But Danny showed me how to take poetry and put it to music. I didn't understand it in the beginning, so that was kind of weird. So he was like, I need to know what you're hearing in your head. So he kind of taught me how to play around on the keyboard a little bit.
Right.
Even though there's still no help, that is not my anointing. But some kind of way, he kind of figures out what's going on in my head the majority of the time.
That is nice.
And it went from there. I started messing around a little bit with writing. And he, of course, is good with music. And then we came across an artist who was she was established within the industry, because we come out of Chicago, and Chicago is like the gospel center.
Yeah.
So she had been in the industry a while, and she was looking for somebody to manage her. And they both kind of volunteered me into that position. So I learned through her. She was, yes, God. She was a learning tool.
Wow.
So, because of her, I was motivated to get better and to learn my craft and learn it well.
Wow.
So, and from there, I started attending workshops. The favor of God is just amazing when you do something that lines you up with His will for you. And I just ended up running across great people like yourself.
Thanks.
Within the guild, the Gospel Announcers Guild, I ended up meeting Lady Lynn White, and come to find out, her and my husband attended school together. Yeah. And she was a total blessing in also helping me learn, and Danny learn how to handle a production studio, a record label, and how to get your artists out there and music into the radio personalities' hands and things like that.
That's awesome.
So that's it. Just getting around great people like yourself.
Awesome. So I really want to dig deep into actually you being a manager, because it takes special people to be managers over other people, because you have to deal with their personality. Sometimes we get the attitude, sometimes we get, oh, this is not what I want, this is not the music that I want, this is not what I hear myself sounding like. How is all of that in the artists that you are managing now?
Well, that's the good thing. There are different types of managers. For one thing, you have your road manager, you have your business manager, and you have personal managers and things like that. But because we are such a small label, I kind of do a little bit of everything. I've only had maybe, like I said, 2 experiences with artists that are kind of set. I'm not willing to kind of go with that. Hey, we're both still learning and growing. So it's just really getting a vibe for you two being able to mesh. Because one of the things that's in my contract is I'm a counselor to you. So I'm not going to lead you, even though you're the boss technically. I'm not going to allow you to go anywhere you should not be going. Because for once, if you say you're a gospel or a Christian singer, then I want your life outside of this also needs to line up. I'm gonna get you, so they know that ahead of time. If we're, for instance, one of the youngest artists I have, she's more of a inspirational gospel, meaning that she doesn't. Well, not gospel, but inspirational artist. So she doesn't technically sing a whole lot of gospel or Christian songs, even though it's all about, God's blessings and good things and inspirational things to keep you uplifted and encouraged. And she's still kind of young in her walk too, I feel. So I think it's like I said, when you work with personalities and always leaving that out in your contract too. Whereas if you don't really vibe, there's no sense of us, being together and me having to choke you down. I'm there to make their life easy. That's why I say to my artists, I want you to focus on what you need to do when you go out on the stage. So let me handle all the mess behind the scenes, making sure your contract's legit, following through with everything that you need to do your job and excellent, taking care of all the technical stuff so that you can focus on that and you're not stressed and worrying about they didn't pay me or they backed out. Because God gave me a mouth, and now that I know what to do with it, amen, I use it for that. And I've got the ministry of no, and because you have no heaven or hell to put me in, I don't catch feelings, I don't catch odds. So, and I understand also, even though this is gospel and about God, it's business too.
Also business, absolutely. So what makes it so special that T and Danny Freeman is the manager over an artist? What makes it so good and special that people see you guys?
You know what? It's just like what's in our name of our business. It's favor. Because in all honesty, the artists that I have, there's only probably one that I went after. And seeing potential where they could blossom. And I just felt like they needed a little guidance. So I believe that our character speaks volumes for us because of other people talking to other people. And then they hear other people's testimonies of how we handled them and their projects. I think that kind of gives us a little bit of favor with them. I have really good, I love my artists. I treat them like they're my kids, meaning that I'm very protective. I'm very protective of them, and I want to be able to be honest with you, and you be honest with me, because I write for a few of our artists, and if I give you something you ain't vibing with, you got to tell me. I don't want, and if you put something out, you got to be able to take criticism. Like, we're not putting out trash. We're not just gonna put out anything just because you feel it for that moment. We want to do everything in excellence. And I want to make sure that what you do, touches the heart and it moves people. And we truly, honestly, and I'll get out for real. I know people say this, but Danny and I are really honestly about ministry. So I am kingdom. I have millions, therefore I invest millions in the kingdom mentality. Absolutely. So we are in the blessing business. We believe if we do things as a blessing, God returns that, and it has worked.
Absolutely.
Ever since 2009, it has worked for us.
Wow. So that's how long you guys been in it, since 2009?
Yes, ma'am.
That is a blessing. Wow. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So what makes you and Danny like mash together to so where you guys work together and not butt heads? I know that butt head times is going to come for that you guys butt heads. So what makes it so special in that time that you guys come together and just really make things work like you guys did at the MLAs? You guys brought it in together. I love the togetherness of you guys. I love that. So how does that work for you guys?
Well, I think I always tell everybody this, okay. So people don't take this like real serious. I'm goofy. So Danny has a degree in behaviors. So I really
Really?
that I am a task for him. So he likes the challenge. So that's why we mesh. We actually both of our purpose, they run into each other. So we vibe. Like he's creative in his way, and then I kind of fill in the spots that he may have empty holes in. So and we're able to communicate without communicating. Like
Yeah.
I said, he's very good at reading what I'm feeling and expressing in my words. He's able to internalize it and then do whatever he needs to do on the keys. And I think that's good because husband and wives don't always work well together, but we are best friends for real, for real, for real. And
Wow.
we
Yeah.
vibe, we do everything together, believe it or not. I know people's like, I got to get a break. I got to go on vacation but Danny and I ain't like that. It's like, when we going to go do something together? And I mean, we've been together 17 years. We've been together 15. No, wait a minute. Lord Jesus. Yeah, 17 years.
You don't know.
We've been together. And married, I think we will be married 14 years, October 2nd.
Wow.
But
Congrats.
thanks. But we really do. We are the best of friends. And even when I get on his nerves, because of that behaviors degree, he knows how to tune that, off in me. And I love him so much because he truly, I believe he saved me at a time where I had really turned my back on God. And then he
Wow.
brought me back. He brought me back. So I think this was really divine because I was not looking for him. I don't know necessarily that he was looking for me. And I think it was a divine covenant that God brought us together. And that's why we work well. And I mean, we can spend days in the sound room just working on music. And I mean, he'll stay up all night. I mean, he'll get up in the middle of the night and disappear and be in there because he's heard something or thought about something that we said or an artist has said, and he'll work it until he rests well with it. So I think that because we have that same mindset about the kingdom, wanting to do everything we can to glorify God and to bring people to understand his love for them, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes us work together. We don't have ulterior motives. Like I
Yeah.
said, we are millionaires. We have that mindset, but we
Absolutely.
really are about kingdom.
And
We are.
that's what I love about especially different friendships, even marriages that I see that they are really sprouting. They're growing together. They're increasing together. And when I seen you and Danny like forever ago, and I saw you guys, and I met you guys, and that love that you had for each other, well, have for each other, and that support system that you have for the both of you. I got your back, you got mine. We're working this together. No one's coming in between. We got God leading us both. And I just love that about you guys. And for one, I look at you guys and get motivated. I look at you guys and get inspired. I look at you guys and get uplifted and know that, okay, I know that I can do this. I can do it with my relationship. I can do it with my relationship with God. I can do it with the anointing that I have that God has given me.
Amen.
I can do it with the walk that I have, that I'm walking with God and letting him lead and guide me. And it takes special people for me. And it takes
Well,
one, two, that they learn each other, they grow
amen.
together, they understand each other, and they're out after the same goal. That's one, walking together.
And that's, I think you said a word there too, It's the uniqueness of each and every one of us. We don't have to compare ourselves or try to look or sound or move like anybody. Uniquely designed is who you are. God spent time just with Crystal, all by her little old self, and he spoke over you and he talked to you.
Absolutely.
Even for who he has for you, God ordained that thing all the way up in heaven before time. And I think once you find each other and you understand that and you communicate, we have hard conversations. The ones you be like, I'm afraid this is going to lead to an argument, but we don't, like I said, we don't have the screaming bouts. We talk. Like he may not like what I'm saying. I may not like what he's saying. I can be a little sarcastic, but he's learned me. So we know when, hey, we'll agree to disagree on this. And since we both kind of stuck here, we're going to set this aside and take a moment and breathe and then come back. But I think that's what makes us work together. And that's why nobody's able to infiltrate what we do. First of all, I have a fear of the Lord, and I know he does too. And I'm not talking about scary fear. It's reverence and the respect of the God in him, the goodness of God in him. Like I said, he's a PK kid. Them PK kids you watch. But we grew spiritually together. So that was a plus for us too. Like I grew up in the church, he grew up in the church, but we weren't really serious about church until we came together and went through some things ourselves, and together we grew spiritually. So we understand each other's assignment, and we understand our assignment together, and we respect the God in each other, and we trust God in all we do.
I have a question. I have a question for you too, T. Like you just said that you guys grew up in church together. He grew up in church, you grew up in church. So what if one get, and I'm just gonna dive into it because I feel like we're going through and having conversations help me in different learning, like different things. Like for me, I grew up in church. I've been in church all my life. When the doors opened, I was there. When the doors were closed, I was there. So for me, I grew up in church. But then if I get in a relationship with my boyfriend and he didn't grow up in the church and he learned God or found Christ at a later on age in life, how does that one, like, okay, God, this is going to work. I know that this man didn't grow up in church, but I grew up in church. So how does that balance for one another? How do you think that works?
I think for us is that, like I said, Danny was a preacher's kid, so he memorized stuff because he knew his dad's sermons, he knew his dad's walk, and then he seen behind the scenes stuff too.
Gotcha.
I grew up in a church, not that I had leaders or anything, whole different religious mentality than him. But I think coming together and admitting we truly, honestly wanted God to be in our relationship, but we didn't personally take time to really dive in and learn God.
Yeah. So, okay.
The wonderful thing about it is that he's open to learn. Even though he don't say much and I'm the talker, we had Bible study. We actually made it a point when we started having issues to actually have Bible study as a family, just he and I.
Nice. Okay.
We talked about everything from sex to finances to family goals, callings on our life. Because at the time I had got married, I wasn't a minister. I was a layman just like him.
Wow.
And I told him, I was like, man, I will wreck you. I will wreck you. But he didn't give out on me. I think he knew, he seen the future me. He knew the God in me more than I knew the God in me myself.
And I love that too, T, because a lot of times we give up on one another because we don't see that future. We don't work hard for the now, and we give up and we say, okay, so I see where this is going. This is not going to work. So I'm just going to end it now. I love that Danny didn't give up on you. He saw the best in you when you didn't see the best in you. I love that you saw the best in him when he didn't even see the best in himself. And it takes two to work that out and to move forward and grow together. And that's where that change and that
Yeah.
powerful couple comes. And I just love that about you guys.
Thank
I
you.
want that for myself. I
You have
do.
it.
I want that strong relationship where no one can come in between, that bond that no one can break. I love that me and my boyfriend have that communication. I'm learning because it took me this long. I thought I was mature. I thought I knew what I was doing, but then I was like, wow, I got here to Atlanta. I'm here by myself and I'm so learning so much stuff and maturing. I was like, oh, I didn't know.
And
Now
that's
I know.
great. That's good. You should never stop learning. And,
Absolutely.
and, and, and just to give you give you a little bit of something to put back on the burner for later.
Oh,
If
absolutely.
I drop some wisdom on you, learn this too. As you get older, you change. So you never really know the person you're with. So for Danny and I tell everybody, y'all might think I'm just blowing smoke, but no, for real. It's as if we're dating all over again. Because every 5 years we're changing for
Hmm.
real. We have different life experience. Um, and I'm a covenant person. One thing, when the hard thing came and hit us, God told me, you don't talk to him like your husband. You talk to him like he's your brother in Christ.
Mm,
And I
okay.
was like, for real? But I
Mm,
got major clapback. He gonna get this smoke. The guy was like, no, he's my child and he needs to be redeemed just like you need to be redeemed. And if you
right.
want me to grace you, you got to grace him. So,
Right.
like I said, we begin to start having the hard conversations we kind of swept up under um, the couch. Nobody taught us how to be husband and wife, you know. And if
Mm,
I can encourage anything before you get married, please do counseling. Please do counseling, because even though we both have been married before, everybody just like, well, y'all done it. You don't need. No, he's a totally different person. I was a totally different person. We both had different understandings, like I said, because of our religious backgrounds. We're so different.
yeah.
He was Baptist. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so that was a
Absolutely.
real clash. Um, and then us coming together, and like I said, we sat down and we studied the word of God for ourselves as well as going to church. And sometimes I'm here and he's here, sometimes he's here and sometimes we're there, but the covenant that we have, there's no divorce for real. And through it all, we're going to try to work through it. We're
Mhm.
going to do everything we can and believe God to fix the places that are hurt and damaged, and then we're going to do everything we can to not repeat cycles. So that's why
Yeah.
I say it's good that God took me down the place where healing was something I needed to internally do, and He was able to do well. So we took two journeys. We took a
Now,
spiritual.
did you guys take that journey? Were y'all together taking the journey, or were you guys separate?
We did
Y'all together.
everything together.
Awesome.
When, like I said, even though we went through a spill, we went through 6 years of, for real, like the devil was in our house,
Mm.
babysitting us. um, but we
Wow.
worked through that, and we grew. And then even we've had life experiences. 1 year, my life was on the line, and that's what I told him. I said, honest to God, I didn't know you loved me until that very moment.
Wow.
When I seen him fight for my life, I was ready to almost give up. He brought prayer warriors into the hospital. He brought his
Mm.
keyboard to the hospital. Girl, he prophesied
Oh,
and ministered over me with his keys. Because like I said, he don't talk a whole lot. And he brought the prayer warrior. I knew he loved me, and I knew he was in it to win it. And then when he went through his battle with cancer and now with kidney renal failure disease, I can't help but go hard, and I go
right.
hard for mine. So
Yeah.
there's me, him, and God, and that's it. Mama can't do nothing. Daddy can't do nothing. Nobody else. This is our covenant.
How do you get to that point in a marriage and in a relationship to where, okay, I know this man is 110 in. for me? How does a female like us personally know that man is definitely here for our heart, our mind, body, spirit, and all of that?
I think for me, Crystal, in all honesty, I had so much low self-esteem. He gives me affirmation continuously.
Mm.
He's not a flower candy, uh, blow down the blanket, have a picnic, Luther Vandross dinner, candlelight. That's not him.
Right.
That's just not him. Even though I told him that's all me. I'm as bougie as you can get, but that's not him. But when he does do something, he blows my mind when he does it. And his other ways of making sure that I feel that he loves me, that I see it, is when he sees me go in for something, he backs me. Even if I give up on it and I get excited about something else, he still backs me. He goes with me however long. And he does everything he can to encourage me along the path to keep me there. But if I change my mind, decide to go, he goes with me. He's always my advocate and my support system. And even if I'm wrong, he's that honey behind the scenes, like, okay, babe, let's, have a little corner conversation.
We
You don't embarrass me. Yeah, like he'll say, okay, since you opened the door with that conversation, remember that time? Really, Freeman, for real. But I love it. I love it. And if I can't, and like I said, once I started to heal me, I was able to take that from him. And I think the same from him. So I don't say you. I believe that this is how my perception is, and he validates that, even though it may not be right. And then we talk. We really do have those hard conversations. If I'm struggling with some area, I can go to him and say, "Hey, we need to work on this because this is what I feel." And he might be like, "Well, this, okay, I understand that, but remember, this is still my perception." And, I'm going to pray on it. You're going to pray on it. We're going to fast and pray on it. And we're going to believe God to work it. And it's worked for me. Like I said, he is my biggest cheerleader. I'm his biggest cheerleader. I believe the God in him, it's not the human in him, because he'll falter. He can get on my nerves if he wants to. But the God in him is so much greater and bigger that I have to grace him. I mean, honey, if he can put up with the 7,000 wigs, girl, I got in my bathroom alone, that says a lot. Because he don't know who he get, what day he working on. Some day he got Sherry, he got Vanessa, Tracy. He don't know who he getting, but he goes with that. He allows me to discover myself, and he enjoys it too. And I like seeing him stretch. And like I said, we really pour into each other. I minister into him. I don't let him pull his stuff out. I don't let other people in his ears. I even make him aware, if he's not aware, hey, babe, because you're such a open person and you listen, you still got to watch females, Not that I'm jealous, but you gotta use discretion too, because people see that and they'll try you in areas. So you always got, how are we doing? Is there something I'm doing that maybe you're not happy with? You check the temperature of your relationship, and we date. Like,
I like that.
Where he asked me earlier this week, okay, so when are we going on a date? Because I have been working 7 days a week, 12 hours. Because he's like, you're asleep as soon as you get home. So when's date night? And we do that.
That's saying I miss you, babe. Oh.
Yeah. So date night is Monday. Yay!
Monday, yes. Yes, and you pick a holiday to do it.
Yeah, because I was off of work. Yes. So we got the whole day.
That's amazing. I love it. And the one thing that I really, really love what you said was Danny, I don't know why I have this thing that's floating around here. Danny, he has let you discover who you are as a woman. I love those words that you just said, because one, we in relationship, a lot of men don't let their spouse or their significant other or whoever is their girlfriend discover who they are. They want to make them who they are. And I can definitely appreciate that. And that's something that I'm so learning.
And we got to learn that about each other. Remember, God has so many facets to himself, and we're in his likeness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I'm more than just, prophetess T. I'm more than just Mama T. I'm more than Danny's wife. It just depends on where I'm at in the moment of whatever's going on. But and like I said, seeing who I am now, I'm a whole different person than I was, a year ago, even, or years ago, or maybe just a couple hours ago. Because girl, I was asleep on the couch for real. Wig was on the tub. So, but I mean, I'm a whole, and I'm learning me, and I'm learning to love me and to love who I am in my Blackness, in my femininity, and who I am spiritually. I don't let anybody tell me or designate or assign me anything. I just like I'm still learning God, I'm still learning me. And the same with Danny. Like I said, live with that. Don't say you changed. How do you never really known the person? So you're just getting another side of them as they mature, as we experience things. So be open to that. You have to adjust. Like I said, relationship ain't like this. It's like more or less like this.
Yeah.
Every now and again,
I want to get that advice from you too, because what if you're in a relationship that the like I could say, even for me, like if I'm 40 and then my boyfriend, if he's like in his 50s, how do you balance the maturity level of the one another? So what if I say,
I say you're straight. You're good if he's older than you, because then he's matching you.
Really, you think so? So you think like if the female is younger than the gentleman, the male is older, they kind of matching. So he's actually already been through that and know what he wants.
Yeah, I would say that. Well, it depends on the maturity level of the female too, because for Danny and I, Danny is 4.5 years older than me. But his maturity level is a different place too. Like I believe that as far as he's very laid back and I'm the bulldog. So we balance out. But like the spiritual part of everything, I'm a little deeper than he is. So it helps him to mature in that. And I don't get bent. I meet him where he's at. And I understand. And so I have to bring myself down. Because sometimes he'd be like, T, you so heavenly, you ain't no earthly good. You need to come. And I'd be like, look, you're right, I am. And you gonna come up to my level at some point. So, but we gotta, you gotta grace that. That's a big thing about relationships. You have to make room for the experiences you guys are going to go through, because I always say you got to give time for however long you was in your longest relationship for you to get there in the new relationship and then beyond. And like I said, for us, it's he didn't know how to love or what love was. I had an ideal of love, but I think I was looking for validation sexually. So, like I said, us having to have confirmation, because I was, I had a lot of perversion in my life as a child. Me with sexual things. So, and he didn't know love as being able to be a person that emotionally engaged.
So how did you get to where you are now, to where you can, okay, I have this under control? So how did you get that way?
Girl. Like I told you, it's favor. Danny and I actually have the best hands down spiritual parents than anybody. Let me just say that. And the thing about them is that their ministry is relationships. So their marriage ministry, deliverance crusade ministry, and the word deliverance, you heard that word, deliverance.
Yes, ma'am.
So we ended up meeting them through their daughter, who was an artist who wanted to work on music with Danny. And my parents, our spiritual parents, are prophets. So naturally, they read us.
Like, I see y'all.
Yeah. And they actually really did adopt us into their family, invited us to one of their events, one of their conferences. And we were able to really be able to be blatantly honest about things that went on in our relationship. And the thing about them is, no matter who was at fault or what went on, they never stopped loving Danny or I any different.
Right. Wow.
And if we went and had private conversations, it stayed there. Danny had no clue what I talked about. I have no clue what he talked about. And when we were together, they shared with us. They helped lead, and they were the example, because a lot of what we learned was watching them. So, like I said, really talking is very important. You need to say, and don't, women, we are so good at, let me write this down and save it till this moment. No, when it happens, you need to actually maybe take a moment to breathe, but you need to visit that and not just, put it and then blow up later on it. So watching them as examples and seeing how they guided other couples, I think we both really, honest to God, really wanted to learn what love was and how to reflect that. And I think once we learned that God loved us for who we were and all our filthiness, we were able to love each other with the same aspect, that if God can love me and in this broken state, then you can love me too. And then we can love each other. And together we can walk through this healing process. And we did. I believe we did. I believe as I began to get healed, he's seen the transformation. And then I was pulling him along, like, and he listened. He's a good listener. So he went along too. And that's what we weren't, because sometimes you have the one that wants to go and the other don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm a prayer. I believe that if I pray a thing, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray, and I share things with him. And then I was like, you do 21 days of praying for our marriage. I do 21 days of praying, and we're going to fast. And I mean, we both were at a point where we really wanted to save our marriage. So we did everything possible to save it. And like I said, we talk, we have conversations, we discuss. We don't, even though he's at the head and I reverence that, my opinion still has some play, even though he has the final say so. But he don't dictate to me. He don't lead me like that. It's what's good for the family, because some things he don't know, and he'll blatantly say, I may not be making the best choice. What you feel on this? And we'll go, and then he'll be like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, well, you got the final say so. But since you asked, or or if we see one going down a path, we try to pull them in or hone each other in. And like I said, it takes having those hard conversations. Like, if you ain't doing it for me, babe, I need you to do a little extra, something. This is me and what I like. Learn me. If we don't talk and I don't tell you, how you gonna know? I can't get mad at you, right?
Absolutely.
So I've got to share, and he don't like, I'd be like, that didn't taste all that great, did it? Nah, you don't need to cook that ever again, girl. He don't be nasty, like, bleh, bleh, you trying to kill me? But, I'll see him push it to the side on his plate, and I'll be like, that wasn't all that hot, was it? So,
I love that.
And like I said, I don't got it all together. He don't got it all together. We don't fight like other people do, though. We get maybe on each other's nerves, but we know when to stop. Like, when it's going to get too heated, we know, hey, we need to take a moment, walk away. And like I said, even though the Bible says don't go to bed angry, you can still go to bed and just not, just say, hey, we're going to stop here, disagree, but we got to come back to this conversation and set a time and a date to revisit it. We don't just let it go away. We come back to it. And that's it. That's all I can tell. It's just when you just be there for each other and never. It killed my mother. Bad thing that I learned. One thing I learned. First marriage. Keep your family out your business. The best thing you can ever do for yourself. And my mom was my best friend, so that was my mistake. And I went and told her everything. But it was the worst thing I did to that marriage. This marriage, it killed her. She knew nothing. Absolutely nothing.
She's like, you gonna tell me something, sweet?
Yeah.
You gonna tell me
But I'm blood. I said, but the Bible says that you leave your parents and you cleave to your husband, and he cleaves to his wife, and we live by that. So there's nobody that can come in and tell me nothing about my husband that I should know anyways. And like I said, I pray over him, I watch, and I believe God shows me things. And I know my husband, and where his weaknesses are. I try to be there for him, to support him, and even rebuking, in the way a wife should. I try to do everything to be that Proverbs 31 woman. I'll lift my husband up. I'll tell you everything about him. Now, later on, when we go to the house, I might address some things in him, but you're not going to know that. So I try to be that. And like I said, I don't have it all together. Daddy says I don't get on his nerves. Girl, I don't believe that because I get on my own nerves.
Right.
So,
I know sometimes, like when I have conversations, I listen to myself and I'm talking, I'm like, dang, girl, you need to be quiet. And I have certainly learned to, and I'm getting better. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting better to just be quiet, Crystal. Just be quiet. It's going to be okay. You don't have to say anything. We just have this ride. It can be quiet, and I just love one, that I'm learning my insecurities, and it's taken me some time to, and I'm getting there to like, okay, Crystal, that's an insecurity, so let's just move on. Don't let that get to you. And I always hear a lot of people, Crystal, you're just this beautiful person. You're just this beautiful woman. You can have it all, but this is just a face. But there's more to me than just this face. There's more to me than just this body. There's more to me than just how I am. But it's just, I'm like, I got to reach that. I got to get that. And I just love how I'm taking control of who I am as a woman of God, and as a woman, and just learning and growing. That's all that it is. And I said in my last podcast, I was like, I look at myself a few years back when I'm doing my makeup and my lives and all that. I was like, who is that girl? Like, who is that? And it makes me sad sometimes. Like, man, I'm still that girl, but I'm not that girl. That girl has matured. She's a woman now. She's grateful. She's learning her faults. She's taken life one day at a time instead of just running. Because I was just running. I was just doing things, and just now I'm just like, gosh, girl. I just look back and just shake my head. And I shake my head at a good thing, because she was just young and not knowing. And now she's a mature adult and a woman that's loving who she's becoming.
and like I told you,
Your volume. Something happened to your volume.
did I? Wait a
There you
minute.
go.
My other piece. I'm sorry. It has the mic in it, and I took out my ear. You are an inspiration. You are truly a light. Like I said, when I get the notification that you're on, I might not be able to listen to the whole thing because I'm at work.
Put your thing back.
Can you hear me now?
It's still like, hello.
Let me see. Did I cut it down? I cut it down. How's that?
I mean, I can hear you, but it's not as loud as it was.
Is that better? That better?
I can hear you still, but it's just not as loud as it was.
It's probably sitting in my ear different. And I'm cutting it down, messing with it.
There. I'll try to talk up. That better?
Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Even though I might not be able to see the whole program when you first come on because I'm at work, I can go back and listen to you, and I'm motivated for that day. And so that says a lot for you because I mean, like I said, we can see the transformation and the growth within you.
Wow.
And that's an inspiration to us because it lets us know, you know what? She's sitting here, she putting on her makeup saying, you know, we're just gonna make the best of today, and it's gonna be a beautiful day, and everything's great. And hey, even if you experience something, you can make the choice to either let that ruin your day or you can stay happy. And we're just gonna stay happy because we're bigger than that, you know. And for
I
me,
love it.
that changes my whole mindset because I'm not a morning person. I go in at 2:00 in the morning, and these people challenge me for saying in the morning. I usually don't turn into nicer me until 9:00. And I said nicer, not nicest, but nicer until 9:00. So to hear that and get that in my head, and it makes me automatically go into, well, I need to pray. God, bridle my tongue, make my attitude better so I can, you know, sound like Crystal. And, you know, I can be that all the time, no matter what. So that's good. And Crystal, if you haven't heard anything you said, the listening part you said to shut up and listen is the best advice anybody can take because we don't know how to listen. Because usually when we're in a conversation that is heated, we're thinking about what we're going to say.
Exactly.
We miss the root issue. Because usually if you will shut up and stop trying to figure out what you're going to say and you listen to that person, you'll actually begin to discover it's not even because you left the lid off the toothpaste.
Exactly.
It's really about you ain't spending no time with me, even though that's not what was said. You know what I mean? So the listening is very important. Like I said, having those conversations and listening. And just like I said, have deep conversations even before you get into a marriage. You talk about the hard things. Because I mean, even he had 2 kids. I had 3. I had been married 19. He'd only been married 3.5 in a short period. Yeah, so I felt like I knew it all. Forgetting that the 19 years I had was all so I didn't know it all. So yeah, having those conversations and talking about things and goals and dreams and aspirations and where you are, even understanding where you are spiritually helps.
Yes.
Really
I love that. I love you, T, and you are my sister forever. Like when I seen you at the Music Love Awards, thank you, Miss Francis. You did an amazing job. So, what are you connected in with the Music Love Awards? How's that?
Oh well, it looks like Danny's going to be their official sound person, sound reinforcement person.
The
And
sound was amazing. There was nothing wrong. I mean, he did an amazing job.
He is anal when it comes to that. I mean, everything. I mean, he made me go do everything as far as my podcast instead of doing it with just my phone. He's like, we got a whole studio in there. Why are you doing that? But he it looks like he's going to be the official sound person from now on. And all honesty, because of Lynn White, we got involved with the MLAs by getting nominated, and we've been there for Miss Francis do it all. With Danny, like I said, had kidney surgery and COVID, all that broke out, and he was, you know, we were desperate for everything. They made a trip up here to Kentucky just to be in his presence and pray. So they forever will be family. And
Absolutely.
they're family. So that's how we're with them. They just have been true to everything that they are. And I'm not saying that they didn't know Danny and I like that, but they did that. So
yeah,
they got a place in our heart. So we've been around them, I think, since 2018.
Wow. I love it. And you guys are just so family. Like I said, every time you like go to different wards, you find out who everybody is, you connect with them, and then it's just like a whole family gathering. So you guys made it definitely a family thing, and I love that.
Appreciate that. Well, we consider you family. Yes. So
So
yeah.
thank you so
So,
much. I appreciate it.
you tell bruh.
Got you.
So
I
yeah.
so appreciate you. I know we got off of what you do and got talking about the relationship and what
But that's
causes
what I
the
do.
cause and the effect.
But
Listen,
that's what I do.
that's what
That's
you
what I
do.
do with the mental health and the Christian counseling. So
I
yeah.
love it. I love it, sis.
Yeah.
So I thank you. I thank you so much. We're actually at an hour now, so I'm just super excited because we can talk forever. And I love you. You're always, I'm always here for you. Anything you need, Atlanta girl, I got you, girl.
All right. Well, we'll
I
be
got
seeing
you.
you soon.
So thank you for joining the Morning Jam podcast. Let the people know where they can connect with you if they're an artist, they want you to manage them. How do they all go about that? So let the people know how they can connect.
Absolutely. So you can hit me up at HF, as in favor, P management at yahoo.com. That's HFP management at yahoo.com. That's my email. Or you can go to Highly, HYLY, Favor Productions. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok. Same name, Highly Favored. You can follow me on my podcast page. I've got favor_T Freeman. And you can get at me. Counseling services, all that. Mental health services, all that. All you have to do is inbox me on any of those pages because I pretty much manage all those pages. And
Absolutely. That
we
is
can talk.
awesome. That's awesome. I love you, sis. Thank you for coming on the Morning Jam podcast with your
Thank you
sis and
for
your
having
friend Crystal Whitaker. I so enjoyed you. And may God continue to pour blessings and blessings on you and my brother Danny.
me.
And
Thank you. Same to
like I
you.
love you, sis. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. I love you. And we look forward to, the Morning Jam podcast, look forward to having you again.
Oh, appreciate you. Thank you.
Is there
Thank you.
anything else that you want to let us know or anything about you, or if you want to say any type of encouraging words?
So just always know that God loves you no matter where you are and at. He wants you redeemed. So it's never too late. You got the next second, the next minute to turn around and just change your mind. Choose to believe that God wants you. He loves you. He cares for you. And he has a purpose and a plan to prosper, not harm you. Remember that always. It's making the choice. Just make the choice. So,
All right, you heard it right here with Miss T. Freeman right here on the Morning Jam podcast with your sister and your friend Crystal Whitaker, and we are out of here. Peace, guys. Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, tune in each week on thinkingoutloudnetwork.com. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends and family. Until next time, peace.